Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are doing a Transformers review. These are the figures I picked up on Black Friday. I have 4 figures that I got on Black Friday and 2 more that I'm just throwing in there for... We're not actually going to review them, but they will be showing up in the video later. So, we're starting with the only G2 figures. Every other figure is actually a G1 fig. This being G2 Breakdown. My second Stunticon, as I already had Drag Strip through a trade with a fellow YouTuber, Figure Seeker. I would highly suggest going and check out his content. Very good YouTuber. But, so, he comes with 2 accessories, which that's what we're going to start out with. This spoiler for the car mode, and his gun itself. So, it's a decent gun, I guess. The spoiler just kind of clips onto it for that Evo Fusion gimmick, which is really bad, but whatever. Most of these Evo Fusions just look terrible, but, you know. What can you do? I'm not the designers. Let's get into it. The color scheme itself is alright. I mean, for G2, you know, I actually do really like it, but, like, it's just not Breakdown. And I would have rathered it to have been the normal Breakdown, but still, it's fine. I do like how his legs work when it comes to articulation, which we're going to get into in a minute, but let's go ahead and get this out of the way. This backpack looks terrible. Terrible. Why? Why did they think this looked good? Just leave it collapsed in, honestly. Probably looked better. But yeah, this is just like an explosion of car parts back here, as I've heard somebody else say. His head is light piped, which obviously it sucks because it's light piping. There's only been like 3 figures in existence that ever did good with light piping. But I mean, overall, you know, it's a decent figure. Let's get into the articulation. Starting out with the arms. Hands go inwards for transformation. There's a lot of hollow points on this figure, by the way. You can get, you can't do a full 360 on this joint here. It will do it, but like it would, but that backpack, the clear part of it, is stopping it, so the shoulder joint does not do it. It goes out slightly above where, like, it goes slightly above into an upper angle, I guess you could say. There's a bicep swivel, I believe is what that's called. The elbows, I can't remember how, like, yeah, they just pull a 90, so average. And then I already showed the wrists. For the head, I think it's on a ball joint. Yeah, feels like it's on a ball joint, but it's not really a good ball joint. It's really just a swivel and a slight rock. You can cheat it, very much cheat it for some looking down and looking up, but it's terrible looking. Can't actually use that to pose. So, I mean, maybe if you get a view looking up at him, kind of do that, it might work, but that's really about the only thing you can do. And that was for transformation anyway, so it's not like a intentional thing. It does have a full 360 waist swivel, which is nice to see. Not every figure gets that. And then, let's see, for the legs, kicks out a decent amount. It is hindered, though. Kicks back about the same, slightly less, but, well, that is a bit more of a difference than I was thinking. But still, it's not terrible. It is hindered by this backpack, though. Goes, I believe this will go all the way out to the side. Let's see. Hang on 1 second. Let me get this arm out of the way. Sorry, guys. I'm really used to reviewing Transformers, but yeah, it goes out pretty well. You know, most of my reviews are on monster trucks and Hot Wheels and stuff, so this isn't exactly my comfort zone, I guess you could say. Swivel here. The knees have a bend right there. And, oh, I thought they had one here too. Never mind. So, I mean, it's a decent, about 90 degrees, so about average. Foot kicks up and back and has a rocker. So, pretty good foot articulation. Transformation's alright on this guy. It's a little finicky sometimes, but I'm going to go ahead and get him transformed up and show you the alt mode. Okay, and we're back. Fully transformed up into his Lamborghini Countach mode. Just kind of push a little bit of that back in there. So, yeah. I mean, it looks pretty good. Now, it does not look as good as it should because I haven't put the parts forming piece onto it yet. Yep, the spoiler is parts forming, and you cannot keep it on him at all. If he's in robot mode, or his legs will completely just lock together. But yeah, it is still a good looking alt mode. Something I do like about this figure, and whenever figures do this, I like it, is when they have weapon storage. Let's see, where was this one at? I think it was right here. Yeah, okay, so his goes right there, so it kind of looks like he's got a gun underneath that you can shoot at somebody, like one of the other Autobots or something, but anyway. It just clips in there via this little port into that hole. Boom, and there you go. So, still a pretty good looking car. This is my first of the mold. I'm not going to transform him into the... Well, actually, I don't even think I can turn him into the combiner mode, because I think you have to have... Or no, this one just balls up, but like, there's no point, really, in showing that. I have no intent on getting the rest of the Stunticons, as Drag Strip is the best one, I've heard, and Motormaster is too expensive. So I'm not going to pick up the other two if I already have the best one. This one I only got because it was 15 bucks in a 2-pack with a figure I really wanted, which we'll see at the end. But next, let's get into another one that I really only have because it was in those 2-packs, which is Quake. So I got this one with another figure, but we're going to take a look at him later. What's interesting is both of these first 2 figures actually have quite a lot of parts forming done to them. So this is a parts forming piece. I mean, you can transform him with it off, but still, it's annoying. So I guess not, but it does kind of turn. Apparently, it's supposed to be like a turret of some sort for these 2 guys to hide behind. So yeah, the Target Masters. Here's Purple Guy and Blue Guy. I don't know their names. Very, very riveting transformation. And very good posing. I mean, they pose so well, you know. They don't pose at all. These are the exact same ones not Trigger Happy. Crap. I don't remember that guy's name. The gray one. He's like a gray jet. Gray and purple. He's got kind of like a night face going on. But these are the same figures he came with, but different colors now. And let's get into the transformation on Quake. Well, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at him in its tank mode first. I didn't even think about that. So, the tank mode's kind of just a brick. This is a retool of Legacy Bomba. I don't remember his name, honestly. It's the guy with the skeleton mask, or not mask, but like skeleton face. So, this is a retool of him for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, the tank mode's just a brick. Beat somebody over the head with this, but the robot mode looks good. So let's go ahead and get him into robot mode. So here he is in robot mode, and I actually did remember the name of that other guy. It's Skullgrin. Yeah, he's kind of flat, in my opinion. I mean, look at that. It's a very flat figure, but still, he does look pretty cool. So, let's take a look at the articulation. The head literally just swivels. That's all it does. You can untab the chest and cheat him looking down, but it looks really bad. And then, yeah, I was making sure that didn't move. Anyway, shoulders just spin completely. They go out to about the same place as the last guys. And that's it, really. There's a bicep swivel. The elbows hinge forward. They do a little bit more than 90, so slightly over average. The wrists will go back like that. So I think these are the right ones to be like faking for sword wielding wrists. Now one thing to make this figure look a little less flat is you can add the backpack back to him. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Fold it up. This piece just tabs into that. So, I mean, it does a little bit, but not really. This is how I'll be displaying him, but still. He does have a waist swivel, which is nice. You can kind of cheat it for a ab crunch in a way. Same thing that I was talking about with the head, but anyway. Kicking outward, he's not really, he's definitely impaired here, but it's not that bad. Going back, it's a similar story. And And taking the backpack off would not help, so. Going out just gets caught on the joint, so it goes out a decent way, though. There's a swivel here, and the knee bend is right around average. Foot-wise, he can toe out. And if this piece is moved out while transforming him, he can also kick his foot back, but, you know, can't really do that. You can't access that during normal posing. But yeah, I mean, it's a decent posing figure. It's pretty good looking, but would I buy it at full price? Heck no. I wouldn't buy any of these figures at full price. Transformers are stupid expensive nowadays. It's dumb as crap. And yeah, these little target masters just kind of clipped onto the top of his alt mode when he was a tank, by the way. But I'm just going to throw them in his hands right now. They'll actually leave his hands and go get displayed by themselves later. But next we have the final one before we get to the one where I have a couple examples to show with it. Optimus Prime. This is the G1 toy style Optimus. And I was torn between displaying this one in vehicle or alt mode. But look at the gaps in between. I couldn't really do it in vehicle mode. It just looked too weird. So we're going to do this one in robot mode. So he does actually have rubber tires, which is interesting. All of these were deluxes, by the way. It's a pretty good looking semi if it didn't have that hole there. Came with the Energon axe, and 2 of his ion blasters for whatever reason. So those are the accessories you get, and also the smokestacks are removable, so those are like little tiny pistols. For whatever reason, they're removable. Now this guy's a really simple and easy transformation, so we're actually going to do this one on camera. I'm very glad that they were able to work a way into getting the fists to store in the alt mode instead of having them just, you know, be a parts forming piece like it was on the original figure. Whilst that is kind of cool, like it would have been kind of cool to have that as a callback to the OG figure, I think it would have hindered this one. And the head just comes out of here, right? Like, it just comes out like that. And boom, look at that head. Classic Toy Prime head. That looks so good. He does have light piping, which kind of sucks, but still. This is, you ever seen that meme where it's like, Mom, I want McDonald's. Mom says, we have McDonald's at home. Mom, I want Missing Link Optimus Prime. We have Missing Link Optimus Prime at home. That's what this is. This is the Walmart Missing Link, the TMU one. But yeah, you can, you know, obviously throw his gun in his hand. It's a little hard. Sometimes. It's stubborn. And you can also put the Energon axe in his hand, which I think is sick. Look at that. That is so cool. Okay, we're going to get into the articulation now. So, starting off with the head, it's on a ball joint. So, you know, you have full 360. You can get a little bit of the side to side and up and down motion. You can sheet it for flying face and also just looking upwards by popping that back plate out. Articulation wise for the arms, goes out to right there and gets stopped just by how it's molded. There's a an elbow swivel. He has just normal 90 elbows. The wrists have no articulation except for this. You know, they pop down for transformation, and then you can get a spin out of them. Moving down, he does have a waist swivel here, but I don't know. I didn't think it would go all the way through, actually. Never mind. On the legs, you have to kind of move this skirt here, and he also has a mono skirt there. But it goes out, gets hindered by the tires, but would go out even further. Goes out, but once again gets hindered. Goes back, gets hindered, impaired, whatever. That goes all the way around, which is interesting. It's a joint I feel like you don't really see too often, or at least it's blocked. There's a swivel here. The knee goes a normal average 90. You also have toe down. And is there a rocker? Yep, there's a sideways rocker on it. So decent articulation on the figure, especially for a deluxe. Even if it's a modern deluxe, it's still not bad. So which I think you're actually supposed to pop these out slightly when he's transformed for some reason. But yeah, he looks alright, you know. I'm gonna get one thing real quick for the last part of his section of the video. Okay, so these go into 5mm ports. These exhaust. So gun arm Optimus Prime. Yeah. Anyway, though, the thing I had to go get was for his Matrix chamber, because he does not come with a Matrix of his own for some reason, even though this is a very small deluxe, using a lot of basic articulation and engineering. Engineering that was made in the 80s, but whatever. So the only Matrix I have is from Toxitron, so we're going to see if it fits in his Matrix compartment. It's not wanting to stay in there. Did this figure come with its own Matrix? Because it seems like this is a different size. Mine didn't, and I ain't been able to find anything that would suggest that one's supposed to. I'll have to watch like a review on this figure. If I find something out, I'll probably post something about it on like my on like the community tab and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna see. I'll probably end up having to contact Hasbro and see if they can send me a replacement figure so I can get me a Matrix. That sucks. Yeah, I opened mine. I got literally everything out of the package, I promise, and there's no Matrix in this, so that sucks. Yeah, well, I mean, it clearly should, like, it clearly uses a different kind of Matrix, so I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to put a gun in his left hand, like, while I display him. I'm going to mount this other gun on his back just to keep it somewhere. And his other hand will hold the Energon axe. Boom. His right hand, so there you go. Now let's move along into the last figure that is new. Cybertronian Bumblebee. I completed my set, so this guy looks pretty good. Standing next to Cybertronian Jazz, which is my favorite one. Quick so we can get the full picture of him with Cybertronian Wheeljack. So I have all three now. I got this for free because my RC figure from Kingdom did not come with all the accessories, so they sent me this as a replacement. I got this guy for $8 at A to Z, which is a little toy store, or a little store, like a secondhand store. Not a secondhand, but like an outlet store. And I got this guy for $15 in the 2-pack with Breakdown, because these two came in their own 2-pack. So, let's get all these guys, let's get into these guys. These two are going to get transformed into alt mode, and we'll look at them again later. But we're going to start with Bumblebee, Zoom X. So, let's start with his accessories first, actually. So, he comes with a little tiny pea shooter of a pistol. And for some reason, 5 Energon rods, not 6. There is 6 holders on Wheeljack's vehicle, and that comes with 5. I would have rather not be able to hold all of them. Instead, I just dropped my daggum phone. I'm probably just going to cut that out. Anyway, I would rather have to put one off to the side and only have 4 holders than have 5 and not 6. So there's 1 empty holder. Anyway, his wrists go back like that. His head is just on a swivel, nothing else. But I think you might be able to cheat it. Let's see. Transformation. No, that just goes up over it. Never mind. Arm goes out to the side. He has a swivel at the bicep. The joints on this one are really stiff. You have like barely above 90-degree bend on the elbow. And then you can cheat it for a forwards butterfly. So that's nice. Moving on to the lower portion of the body, you have a waist swivel. Legs kick out barely at all. Legs kick back barely at all because of the backpack. Which another thing I forgot to mention is the he comes with a jetpack for some reason. So that's kind of cool. I would have rather them not give him the jetpack and give him a daggum other Energon. Anyway. Goes out to the side a bit. Knee bend is slightly above average, I would say. You get really good ranges on the foot. Just look at the foot. It's because of transformation, but yeah. they really liked the foot of this figure for some reason. They really liked giving it a lot of articulation. But yeah, so he can be pretty expressive, though, when you want him to be. I'm probably going to have to get the instructions out for this guy, because he's a little confusing with how he transforms, honestly. And I've only done it once. But yeah, I didn't use it for the other three. I was able to get them done, but we're going to get the instructions out and take this guy down. Which, this guy, going into alt mode, you honestly need the instructions, because the legs are really confusing with how they go. But I'm going to get Wheeljack and Jazz transformed so we can put him in the back of Wheeljack and also do the, just see all three of them in their alt modes together. So, I'll be back in a minute. Okay. All three have been transformed. So, let's take a look at Bumblebee first. Here he is with all of his accessories on. Already going to remove that jetpack. Yeah, the gun just kind of mounts onto the side, or you can put it on the top if you don't have the jetpack on. And now, zoom. So here's Bumblebee, Wheeljack, and the best one, Jazz. All we're missing is Skywarp, Thundercracker, and Soundwave to complete all 6. Soundwave you can do with just the most of the modern day Soundwaves, honestly, will really work. And then they've made Tetrajets back in Siege, but I don't have any big Soundwaves, and I don't have a Tetrajet. Actually, hang on 1 second. Sort of work with the core one. Not really. All right, let's get that out of frame. Back to it though. Jazz looks beautiful, but here we go. Bumblebee and Wheeljack. Wheeljack is actually a Voyager. He's significantly bigger, but very hollow on the inside. You'll see why here in a minute. But Wheeljack comes with a lot of accessories. So you can put his gun there. This can be used as road for him to ride on for some reason. So, you know, they made it out of clear plastic, obviously. Because the thing that you have to snap apart like this is very smart to make it out of brittle plastic. I'm really hoping I don't break one of these days. For the content, I guess. Golly. Okay, so there's the road. So you take your Wheeljack, and he just kind of rides along it, which, I mean, it's really nothing, but... Let's break it again. We'll use it for the better purpose. So, do you remember when the Tetrajets created that big wall of fire around Bumblebee and Wheeljack? Well, this is the fire shield Wheeljack used to kind of just like drive straight through it. After, of course, cutting it, because all of that makes sense. How does this go on again? Tabs in somewhere. I tabbed it in, but I don't even know where it tabs in at. But yeah. And then he also has those saw blades he used to cut through it. Obviously. And you also have the Energon rods, which you can just clip onto the side of the alt mode. And I'm only doing 4. I'm not going to do all 5. Because it looks stupid with more than 4. Unless, with 5. Like, unless you have an even amount, it looks super stupid. So, there. Excuse me, and there. And then, apparently, you can fit Bumblebee in the back here. So, let's see if that's true. I haven't tried it yet. This is the first attempt. I'm doing it on camera. So you supposedly have to kind of scrunch Bumblebee up or he won't fit. So let's see how they do that. I guess just flip these outer wings up. Sort of works. Does not shut though. Could have sworn it shut. I saw people doing it. Maybe instead of flipping those pieces up, and definitely instead of breaking them, it's the second time I've snapped one of those pieces off. It's really easy to do. I've only had these since Black Friday, bro. We gotta do the whole foot. Right. Well, supposedly you can get it in there without, like, while shutting and stuff. I guess just go look at somebody else's video, because I don't really care enough to try. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Goodbye.